G'day. Around 2012, I put a recorder out, an audio recorder out. I was trying to capture Lyrebird calls for a project I was doing at the time at a place called Devil's Gap, which is located in between Gibraltar Falls, basically, and Tidbinbilla. Anyway, I ended up getting some lovely recordings. It was a great spot, and but when I was reviewing the recordings, I came across sounds that, in my mind, shouldn't have been there at the time of the night that they were recorded, and it was the sounds of what sounded like people running past the recorder and at times slapping on the recorder, and walking sounds and things like that, and the sounds of tree branches being broken and things. But anyway, it stood out at the time. I will say it actually stood out at the time, and it I didn't give it much more thought. Off and on I did when I was talking to people who have a firm belief that there's a bipedal hominid ape man living in the Australian bush. So anyway, it did pique my interest. But anyway, recently, being involved with some people, I took the opportunity to put a recorder back there again. So what's that now? 2012 to 2019. 7 years later, and see what I picked up. So I set the recorder on the 22nd of December, and these recordings were captured on the 1st. The recordings I'm just about to play for you were captured on the first night, the third night, and the fourth night. But all up, it doesn't sound like much, but to me, it's the definite sound of bipedal walking, and I really don't expect, where I had that recorder, for somebody to be strolling along at 1:30 in the morning in thick bush, off trail. And the nearest trail is the Devil's Gap Trail, and it's a very short little walk from the fire trail down to the base of the fire trail. And it's nowhere near where I had the recorder located. But I'll play the recordings for you now. I do recommend you use headphones. I didn't make it loud enough. What happened was I had a computer malfunction. I sent the recordings up to Dan in Sydney, who's the editor of the Yowie Times, which is an email newsletter if anybody's interested in this sort of thing. And he reviewed the recordings for me and sent the results down to me for me to listen to. So I actually had no input into discerning what noises were made on these recordings, and there were 16 6-hour files. So that's a fair bit of time to review, but it's done. It's done with software, not by the ear. So I'll play these recordings for you now. I've just strung them together on with some subtitling to try and guide what I'm hearing, and we'll see what you think. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's unusual. The end of the day, it doesn't prove anything either way about anything. But I think the noises are unusual. I think it's odd that people are creeping in and out of Tidbinbilla if they are at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, by that route at any rate. And but there are people that are interested in these sort of things. So I thought I'd put it up there for people to have a look at and tell me what they think. The wallabies, people, yowies. Maybe there's a reason they called it Devil's Gap. Cheers.